Thanks so much for tuning in to another edition of the Bloody Legends with Jai That Aussie Metal Guy and Jim Taylor. Make sure you're a bloody legend and hit that like and subscribe so you can keep up to date with all the great content from these bloody legends. G'day, how are you all going? It's time for another edition of the Bloody Legends with myself, Jai That Aussie Metal Guy, and my amazing co-host, JB Jim Taylor. Tonight, wherever you are in the world, it's a great pleasure that we have the almighty Lena Scissorhands of Infected Rain, who are due to tear it up with Cradle of Filth on the Australian invasion. That one is coming September. Lena, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me, for the kind words of introduction.
Absolute pleasure. I was saying to Jim just before you come on, I kind of come across you guys back, I think around 2019 with the Endorphin album. I caught a little bit of one of your film clips. And like I said to Jim, I'm like, whenever I see a band, like I listen to a couple of minutes, I go by the album, and I was absolutely blown away by the Endorphin album. And immediately I noticed the different influences. You've got these new metal influences, these real heavy as fuck growls and this death metal progressive notes. But I have always wanted to ask you, who are some of the people that have influenced and inspired you as a musician?
I don't know. It's hard to say because we definitely get inspired a lot by things we like. And including music, our favorite music, getting influenced is quite, a brutal term. I don't really prefer it because I don't think it's a good result when you're actually influenced by something or somebody, So literally everything I like in life inspires me in a way or another. Music has been a big part of my life, even though I never planned or wanted to be a musician. Never. Up until late 2007 is when I was out for fun, just friends, musicians, having fun, and I was just there. So I picked up the microphone and I was just being silly because that's what you do with friends. And we did it a couple of times and it became something serious. I did not understand up until the first show in 2008 what I'm getting myself into. From the good point, of course, because I was enjoying it. It was fun, but it stopped there. Up until the show happened. The first show is when I understood that the way music touches me when I am on stage delivering, nothing can be compared to it. And I was already having a career and that I absolutely loved. I didn't think I'm ever going to start over with a completely new career, So when I actually took it serious after that first show and wanted to do more and wanted to discover more and started seeing vocal teachers and listening to more music in this genre, I've been listening to alternative music since I was 13, but I went into a heavier music when I was maybe 16. I liked discovering super heavy bands and super pop bands. I really love music. So a lot of musicians have definitely taught me by listening to them over and over again, even before I chose this career path. These musicians have taught me that it is okay not to be okay. It is okay to come off, negative if that's the kind of day you have. It is okay to be different. It is okay to have feelings. It is okay to explore. And I learned that from metal because unfortunately I come from a very small country, poor country, very poor situation in a family. My mom, she was a single mom for a while and she didn't have extra help. She would take all shifts possible as a nurse. And I couldn't learn that from my parents because they were never there for a reason or another. And it's not their fault. Life was extremely difficult then, late 80s, 90s. There was no internet. It was a completely different life, especially in a ex-USSR country. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I had to learn from music. I learned a lot from music, and I'm so thankful. I'm in debt to metal music.
Yeah, well,
That's a powerful, what a powerful story.
It is a powerful story, and it's opened up so many doors for you. You were saying you were pretty happy in your career then, and then you took on music, and you've embraced it with open arms. How when you were talking about your vocal, seeing a vocal teacher, like your vocals, like that's another thing I was talking about is your harmonies and melodies are absolutely beautiful. Then you just come into these real powerful growls. What was that like, training your voice to be able to do that, Lena? Because it would have taken a lot of work to do that without destroying your voice as well.
And I'm still working on it. I remember at the beginning, it was, if I could have an analogy, if you guys allow me,
Yes.
it felt like I am a born child that learns to run, you know? But before you learn to run, you learn to stand on your feet first. You learn to fall. You learn to crawl. You learn to walk. You learn to be stronger. You have muscles and you can run, right? Now, it felt that way in the beginning, and I made a lot of mistakes, and I fell many times, and I've crawled many times. I've lost my voice many times. I didn't know what I'm doing. The resources back in the day when I started were very limited. And I discovered a vocal teacher in a music university in the city that came highly recommended. Give her a call because she was giving personal lessons, vocal lessons. But when I told her that I don't know nothing about music and I never tried, I don't even know, she was very skeptical in the beginning because I was already 20, I believe. And, she's like, music is quite difficult, of course, come, let me hear you out. Let me see what I can work with. So I was very nervous. I thought she will never accept me a teacher at university, but she did see something in my voice, see something in me, or heard something in my voice, whatever you want to call it. And I've had lessons with her for 3.5 years in the very beginning of my career, very religiously. It was one of my favorite things to do for myself and my soul. And also I was learning a new skill, a skill that actually makes me so happy. Hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would see her 3 times a week, so much. And then slowly I discovered Melissa Cross, which already back then,
Zen of Screaming.
Yeah, she already back then was quite famous because she had 2 DVDs with lessons and explanations and examples with all kinds of metal singers from metal bands. And I was able to find the DVDs, bought them, and I've watched them like 1,000 times. I've tried my best to apply certain exercises, but it wasn't up until 2013 when I actually met her in person. I was visiting the United States, and I tried my luck basically to see if I can have a lesson. And I was very lucky because it was quite short notice, and she accepted it. And I've had a very long lesson with her that day, and we learned so much about each other. And I wasn't sure if I will ever return to United States or when, so she kept me there and kept telling me and giving me so much information. Like, she didn't let me go. And to me, it was like so short, like a moment, but in reality it was hours and hours of knowledge and trying this, trying that. Let me record this for you so you have it for later. She's an incredible human being. Throughout the years, we became close friends, and I still learn from her. She's my mentor. She's amazing.
It definitely carries in what you're in your performances. I just watched you guys. You just played Belgium, and
yes.
And y'all's energy is infectious, and you can tell that, and the way you convey yourself in your vocals, it's very evident in your singing. And it matches so well with you guys are in such a low toning or tuning that
Yeah.
your voice just fits in this great pocket.
Oh,
Just
big compliment.
fantastic. um say again.
I said you
But
guys are both so.
we're honored to have you on here, man. This is great.
Yeah, that Time
Um
album is an absolutely amazing album. I was talking about that one before. That did drop February, and it's great to see that going so well. And you guys have been going from strength to strength, as you mentioned, from that first EP to Endorphin to Exsidious to that live album
yes.
was unreal. But this Time one, it just seems that you guys have gone from strength to strength, and you've now got Alice Lane's recently joined you in 2023 for this album as well. It's an amazing album. What are some of the tracks you've been enjoying playing live off it since you've had a chance to be able to play a few off of it now since then?
Yeah, we've been already playing almost half an album. Or yes,
Wow.
like with having a new band member, it was very challenging for us. We are not known for changing musicians. We've been the same for a solid 13 years, and it was long coming. The change was long coming. It wasn't for us in the band. It wasn't a surprise, but it's for the better for both parties, and we were looking to have a bass player for now, just because the guitar player and the player that left, they are actually brothers. And we try with one guitar for now and see how it feels. So it was
Vidic is a
crucial.
beast. He can hold that down, no worries. He's an absolutely amazing guitarist, dude.
I tell him that all the time. Now the challenge is to find not only a passionate, good bass player, but also a very driven bass player that has to balance out a missing guitar as well. You know what I'm saying? And so a passionate, not afraid to have his hands dirty, because now it's four of us on stage, and the balance has to be very visible, because he is the crazy super energetic guitar player, and in the middle and in my back is me and Eugene, and then who is going to balance Vidic? You know what I mean? It's not like we were trying to find the most like energetic or who's the most athletic. Not at all. But holy shit, Alice is so good. Live, she adds enough of energy, enough of skill, enough of femininity in a way as well, to for us to be balanced again, because we didn't feel balanced in the last year. Many reasons, but it feels great. I jokingly call us the new ABBA. Over ABBA. But
Love it.
Love playing all songs live. I think that specifically Dying Light and Never to Return are they are almost like they were created for a live show. The satisfaction vocal level that those songs give me, honestly, is incredible.
And the
It's very
performances,
evident.
oh, definitely, the performances are unbloody real. You are due to kind of play with Cradle of Filth in September as well. And I've been listening to a lot of your music the last few days, and I'm a huge Cradle of Filth fan. And I'm like, if anyone was going to do a Cradle of Filth track, I'm thinking you could do that. No worries, Lena. Is there any track that you'd like to do from Cradle of Filth in some fantasy world if you could do it?
We are very nervous but super excited. So thank you for giving us some positivity we needed, because it's Cradle of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But it's also but you guys bring such a dynamic to that. You have the element of gothic, but you've also got this you got these brutal breakdowns.
Yeah.
And it's a good that the dichotomy between the two bands is going to be very cool to see that. So
Of the shows?
I'll
Yeah.
definitely be at the shows. He's over in the US, so he's going to have to try and catch you
Yeah.
next time you're over in the US. He's in
Exactly.
Cali.
Yes.
I'm in Australia,
Yeah.
so I will definitely be there. I've been a huge fan of you guys for quite a while. It's actually my birthday today, and like I wasn't going to do anything, and I'm like, I got to have a chat with Lena for her birthday, and it also made me think like, what's your ideal way to spend a birthday? For me, I don't drink anymore, so it's usually chatting to metalheads, listen to some music, maybe smoke a bit of weed, and do some video gaming.
That's a really good question. I think it is your day, and you should do whatever the hell you want. That's the best. You know, I've had a friend trying to organize like a party for me and invite all the friends when I was a little down and didn't really want to do much, didn't have the energy, but it felt great because you feel so loved. People showed up, surprised you, or you are alone somewhere else, you're not home, and you're somewhere else around the world, and you can just be alone and spend some time taking care of your body and soul, just because that day belongs to you. So whatever it is that makes you happy, it can be even the favorite food or the favorite movie or the favorite company, all of it.
I think that's totally key. I do want to touch on this, Jim. I know we've only got a few more minutes left there, Lena, but as a father of 3 daughters, I've always looked at like the last few years, there's been 3 bands that have actually, I've been very proud of as a father myself, and is Infected Rain, Spirit Box, and Ginger. How do you feel being like up on there as one of these women in metal, really holding it down? And I understand this phrase, and I have brought it up with multiple female leads of metal bands as well. The female fronted term, it kind of does my goat. I see the positives in it, but I also see negatives. One, how do you feel being a spokesman for women in metal, and how do you feel about that term?
Well, I don't like that term, but for a different reason.
Yeah.
Because I am just not understanding why people have to label so many things. It can get either ugly or confusing. It doesn't really bring to any good, because it became like a specific genre, and I don't understand why. There's no explanation. I mean, obviously the history gives us a lot of answers when it comes to that, just because of like how the jobs were earned by women throughout years and stuff like that. But I don't want to refer to that, because that's not our reality. Our reality right now is positivity and acceptance, right? And I say, if you are actually listening to the band, does it really make such a big difference if it's a female voice or male voice? Some people can have preference, of course, in certain things, but calling it a specifically completely different genre, I don't really like. I understand why it's happening. I understand why it's a how to say, it's the place where the human brain goes, right?
Yeah. Right.
But I mean, when I grew up and I listened to music, I didn't really make a difference if it was, Sandra, the singer from Guano Apes, that was rocking it, or it was Limp Bizkit, for example.
Yeah, I was the same. It didn't matter if it was Tracy Chapman or Phil Collins, dude. It really didn't matter to me. If it was good music, I'd play it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So, but of course, I feel very honored that you compared me with such big names, and I feel very honored that some people choose our music over so many bands out there. I know how it is. I love music myself, so I'm just grateful for the time that people give us.
Yes, definitely. And there's a lot of people giving us some time album, pun intended. Everybody go check out the latest album from Infected Rain. It is an absolutely amazing album. I'm looking forward to what the future brings to Infected Rain. It's just strength to strength, and I can't wait to catch you in Australia with Cradle of Filth for the Australian invasion in September. It does start in Perth on the 24th, rounds out in Brisbane on the 29th, catching Adelaide, Melbourne, and Sydney in between. Jim, did you want to chuck in anything before we round out, mate?
No, I'm glad. It's just been. Thank you for coming on and talking to us. It's been an honor to have you on here.
Absolute bloody pleasure, Lena. Do you have any last words, shout outs, thank yous, or anything else you would like to add in there, my friend?
Absolutely. Special thank you for you guys for being so fast and so professional, so on point, and absolutely sweet. Thank you. I appreciate that. And of course, everybody who's watching or listening, thank you for your time one more time.
Awesome. Thank you very much, everybody. Get some Infected Rain, put it in the stereo, crank it up really bloody loud. The neighbors are going to want to hear it as well. Cheers, mate.
Oi, you're tuned in to Jai That Aussie Metal Guy, so make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of his sick content. And remember, stay brutal, you legend.